for joining me for another edition of this old Gibson. This is a Gibson LG-0 from Kalamazoo, Michigan, 1962, serial number 79250, which means it could be a 63. But anyways, it's an LG-0 with a ladder-braced mahogany top and a plastic bridge. Usually when I see these, I offer the customer the option of replacing it with a new plastic bridge from Music City Bridge, if they want to keep that vintage sound. Or if they want to improve the sound, we can go to a rosewood bridge to match the fretboard, which is more in line with what Gibson normally does. And this customer opted for the new wooden bridge. Either way you decide to go with yours, if you want to buy a new bridge from Music City and replace yours, you might want to watch along the full length of this video anyways, because there's some other problems that have arisen from this plastic bridge design. And we'll be looking inside the guitar and repairing all these problems, including flattening out this bulge that develops underneath the bridge. First, a little history on the plastic bridge. It was cheap to produce, and that's why it's on this guitar. It was, you know, you could screw down a new one in a jiffy, this book says. There weren't that many repair shops back in the 60s when these were put out, so that was kind of cool. Gibson could offer a warranty, and the dealers could replace this special bridge pretty quickly. There's a lot of problems though with this bridge design. It doesn't hold up well to string tension, and the top can develop a twist. The plastic can crack, especially around where the screws are. When we look inside, you'll see the machine screws or the sheet metal screws that hold it on. There's no glue holding it on, but someone tried to glue it too. You'll see that residue here. It's from someone trying to glue it. But anyways, also we better just take the strings off and start looking inside, because there's what's called a bridge plate or bridge pad on the inside where the string balls rest, and it's all chewed up, and it's made of spruce, which is not a good hard wood like they put in their other models. It's a soft wood, and it's all chewed up anyways. We'll take the strings off and look inside. We're looking inside the guitar right now, looking up at the bridge pins, and you can see how the bridge plate has the 4 screws going through it, and those screws go up through the soundboard and into the plastic bridge. You'll also notice a lot of wood missing between each of the pins, and in a few minutes we'll get in there and try to patch that all in. One thing you might encounter with these warped bridges is that the pins don't want to pull out very easily, and sometimes you have to grab the string and push it down in so that it releases some of that friction that's caused by just the diameter of the string down in that slot there. Okay, so to get the bridge off, I'll go around and score that old glue line, and then reach in there and undo the screws. I think I'll take the pickguard off and get it out of the way too. But actually, if you're going to replace it with a wooden bridge, right now is a good time to kind of score anyways. Maybe not, because it might be bulged out, so just wait. Score it later after you make the new one. And I'm talking about scoring the very thin coat of lacquer that's on the top of the guitar. Want to remove that so that the new wooden bridge can adhere wood to wood with wood glue. There's a whole lot of schmutz down in the screw head, causing me a lot of pain and suffering. But I cleared it out a little bit. Eventually I should be able to get these babies out of here. Okay, now here, to get the sheet metal screws out from the inside of the guitar, you can use a 1/4 inch hex wrench like this, right angle, or if you're shifty like me, you can get one of these. So I can reach in and pretty quickly unscrew all four. So these are the tools needed to remove the old bridge. 1/4" hex, screwdrivers for the pick guard, and here are the little sheet metal screws. Now these aren't sheet metal screws, are they? What are these? I don't know. What do you call these? Machine screws. But they screw into the plastic, hold it on. Boy, that has a curve to it. So there is a lot of missing wood. And there's 4 holes that we're going to need to fill in. Also, there's just a big crack. These 2 holes will get filled, plus these outer 2. And there's just so much missing wood on the inside here. I can almost put my finger up to the surface. So the first thing I want to do is flatten this out. We're going to want to flatten the wood here because it's got that bulge. That's not a normal belly. Down here is more normal. It should have a belly, but it shouldn't have a bulge. See, the front's pretty flat. It's just back here. So I'm going to put some wet paper towels on the inside and soak the wood real good all throughout here. Get it all nice and wet, saturated. Get the heat lamp over here, warm it up real good, and then get some bridge clamps in there and smash it all down. Okay, so here's a paper towel. It's going to be on the inside on this bridge plate area. And just take an entire paper towel, fold it up, and get it wet with some boiling hot water. Put it in there, and then I'll flip the guitar on its belly and let it sit for the better part of a day, and we'll come back and smash it. So I've come to realize that the top has come unglued from the brace here and from the bridge plate. So you can see this feeler gauge going in between the area between the top and the bridge plate and in between the brace. So, and the top is pretty unglued, but I think the first little glue up I want to do is this area with the bridge plate, and I'll do that first. So I'll get a bunch of glue in there as much as I can, spread it around with the feeler gauge like so, because it's really de-glued. I mean, like seriously, really de-glued. And I got those TJ Thompson things. I'll smash it just with 2 clamps in the middle, I think, just for beginners. Okay, I got a little bit of hot hide glue here. I'm gonna get it in. Get a little in over here. Do the same on this side. Okay, we'll just slop a little into the crack. Round number 2. Just gonna get as much as I can until it squeezes out like crazy. Hopefully this will rehydrate some of the old crispy stuff too. So as it smashes the bridge plate and the top together, it also closing the crack and taking out the bulge. So I think we can achieve all this with just this single clamp. Yeah, right in the middle. Right there. Smash it real good right in the middle. And just wait for it to dry. Now I got to get some glue in between the braces and the soundboard. There's two braces that are loose right up the center, but behind the bridge plate, and one in front of it, in between the bridge plate and the sound hole. So I use a syringe with a spinal tap needle, and I get it in with the jack. The jack looks like it's on the brace, but it's not. It's behind it. It's pushing the soundboard up. Now I'm moving the jack up and down so that it pumps the glue. Next, I'll grab the jack from behind the first brace and put it in between the two braces. I'll push up on the soundboard, and that'll create a gap for the syringe. And I'm going right in between the bridge plate and the brace. There's not much room there between the bridge plate and the brace, but luckily there's, a 1/4 inch or something there. Now, once I get the glue in this brace, I'm going to lower the jack, wipe real quick with a wet paper towel some of the excess, and put in the sound hole clamps through the sound hole. And I'm trying to work kind of fast because hot hide glue has a short open time. So let's get this jack out of here and we'll get the clamps inside after a quick wipe with the paper towel. That's the hot boiling water for the wet paper towel that you hear going in the background there. Okay, now we're outside of the guitar and we're getting these two C clamps in place. I'll use a hockey puck to help smash the top down. I already did a dry run, so I know that these two clamps work good for the process. And the second brace needs two clamps. Just like so. And there's the final look of the brace glue up from outside of the guitar. And then I did some back crack gluing. I just tried to push down on the areas. Now I'll remove the finish from the soundboard. This is the area underneath of where the new bridge is going to go. I use the Jasco epoxy and paint remover. After 10 or 15 minutes, you can scrape it right off like it was never there. It's basically made for furniture stripping, but it works on anything except polyester and polyurethane. That stuff's indestructible. Now I've got a nice bridge blanked out of Pau Ferro wood, which is Bolivian rosewood. And to me, it's the closest match to Brazilian rosewood, which is unavailable at the moment anyways. Yeah, they banned the export of Brazilian rosewood lumber a long time ago. You can still get the veneers sometimes. I'll drill the pinholes, or the pilot holes, for the bridge pinholes here on the bench, and then I'll go down to the drill press and widen the holes to 3/16 of an inch. Next, I'll start making some poplar fibers with a rasp and the edge of a poplar board. Usually on the high-end guitars, I use hard rock maple fibers, but I figured since this is an LG-0 and the original bridge plate was spruce wood, that poplar wood would work just fine. I'll collect the fibers on a piece of paper and then store them in this here cup. Poplar fibers, baby. Next, I'll accelerate once on my rigid foam block that's attached to my StewMac scissor jack, stick it inside the guitar, move it over so it covers all of the holes, and then I'll fill the holes with the maple fibers. Just like so. There's one hole that I already finished filling, and that was, I had to do it in 2 steps because that one was too far away to do it all at once. So yeah, we'll fill in at least the bottom portion of all those pinholes, and the 4 that the screws were in, we'll fill those up right to the top. After packing it in, I put in 3 drops of StewMac number 10 water thin CA glue, cyanoacrylate, super glue. Then I'll accelerate with the liquid accelerator, and there's a chemical reaction happening. Do not sniff the fumes. Rock hard after 2 minutes. Now I'll go in for round number 2. It usually takes 3 or 4 applications of these fibers to fill it up all the way. Pack them in. Drop in CA glue. Rinse, lather, and repeat. Accelerator. Now I'll run the TJ Thompson belly reducer one more time before sanding the bridge with 120 and 220 grit sandpaper and buffing it on my wheel. Oh, the wheel in the sky keeps on turning. Don't know where I'll be tomorrow. Next, I warm up the hot hide glue. Actually, if it was already hot, I wouldn't need to warm it up, so let's just say that I've taken a fresh batch that has never been heated before and transferred it into this glass dish, and I'm warming it up on the burner, and then the excess will go back into the refrigerator. After I do a test run with the 5 clamps that I'll be using to clamp the bridge down, I'll sand the bottom of the bridge and I'll wipe it with acetone. That removes a lot of the oils and will help the hot hide glue to adhere 20% better than if I wouldn't have cleaned it. Next, I warm up the bridge and the soundboard with the hairdryer. Now it's time for my favorite. You wanted the best, and you got the best. The hottest glue in the world. Hide. And the reason for using hot hide glue is for tone transfer. You'll see in a minute when I'm done. This glue will make this guitar sound so good, it will blow your mind. You will never know what you're missing. If you're using Titebond for bridges, and then you try this hot hide for the first time, you'll know why, and you'll probably never go back, because it is night and day, the quality of sound that you get with a glue that dries crystal rock hard. Just amazing. And like I said, guys, I was amazed when I learned the difference here. Not only that, but it is easier to work with, too. If this guitar ever needs to be de-glued and put back together, It's 100 times cleaner. It's 100 times cleaner. None of the wood fibers will be lost or scraped away or chiseled off by the tools. It's the seam separation qualities are great. The sound transfer qualities are superb. And the cleanup's easy. It's made of animal skins, so it has collagen, and it's pretty much gelatin is what it turns into after about 15-20 minutes. You just start scraping it with a piece of wood like this. I sharpen the piece of wood on a disc sander. And get the majority off of it in a gel form, and then I wrap a little paper towel over the stick with some hot water and clean it up the rest of the way. Now this is what the bridge pinholes look like right after the CA glue goes in, and this is what it looks like after sanding it with 220 grit. Now I'll re-drill the holes. Well, here it is. I put a temporary saddle in there to see how low or high I was going to have to make the permanent bone saddle. And it's going to be pretty low. You know, this guitar is probably due for a neck reset, but I just really wanted to show you what an unmolested, 60-plus-year-old guitar looks like that has top cracks, especially this center seam crack. And it had a bunch of back cracks. And they're wide open. But look how flat everything is. Because this guitar, I just said the word unmolested, and what I mean is nobody's forced that synthetic modern glue down in there with a suction cup. And when you do that, just a warning, it's a ticking time bomb before that creeps, because it does not hold up good under tension. And when it creeps and it shrinks, that gap opens up and dirt gets in there, and the next thing you know, you have a crack that is cupped. And once that happens, there's really no turning around. But if you just used hot hide glue right from the get-go and it never got contaminated with the synthetics, you've got a guitar that'll look this flat and beautiful for a lifetime or longer, maybe a couple hundreds of years. So keep with the hot hide glue, guys. Wow. All I can say is wow. If you can find one of these guitars that is unmolested, get you one. Put you a wooden bridge on it, you'll be all set. Now this one, the action's, a little high, but I brought the saddle down and I ramped some little string slots in there right in front of the pinholes. And if you're wondering how I got that nice match, that Brazilian rosewood look on the Powell Faro, is I used 1 drop of Kalamazoo mahogany stain mixed in with some Danish oil, and I just rubbed it on there after it was polished and everything. I just rubbed it on there as a very last little thing, and it left a rich reddish brown color. I think that matches the fretboard real nice. You don't see me normally making bridges on this channel because I haven't made that many bridges. This is like the 4th one, I want to say. And the reason being is I haven't had a real good way to surface the materials, but recently I just figured out, actually just yesterday, and I ran these blanks. This is I guess called a premium ebony blank, and I got it down to about 7 millimeters in thickness. And this one's a Madagascar rosewood, which is going to look real nice on that 53 Southern Jumbo. And I'm going to make it that bridge for the Southern Jumbo, and the ebony bridge is going to be for the Guild D50 back there that has a stripped finish on it. That one I'm going to be doing a sunburst finish on. I don't know if I'm going to be filming any of that stuff because they're really involved and they could take me months. And it'd be like hour-long 2-part videos, which I don't know if anybody's interested in. Let me know. I appreciate the comments as always. Your comments are welcome, and I hope to see you next time. Catch you later.